Greetings, peoples, and welcome back to Sonic Colors. Yes, I am back from the dead. Well, honestly, it's only been about 2 weeks, but do you guys realize how long that is in YouTube time? Like, really, in YouTube time, that's about, 4 months. I'm running the calculations here. I'm assuming I came pretty close. But anyway, we are here in Sweet Mountain. This is one of my favorite levels in the game, just because of the aesthetic. It's like food, more food, diabetes, hamburgers, donuts, gliding with the chance of meatballs. So it's fun. Also, there are a few moments, like right there, where I use the physics engine of this game. And this game kind of has physics. It's nowhere near the classic games, but as you saw there, I jumped off of an incline and went, into the air really high for a second. The jump is weird when it comes to physics in this game. You'll see later on when I jump off of enemies, if you just hold the jump button and jump on them regularly as if you were playing like a classic Sonic game or something, you'll soar up into the air, vertically, straight up. And it's the world's floatiest jump ever in a platformer. It's really weird. I'll point it out again once we get to it. Anyway, here we are in one of the more interesting 3D sections. I mean, granted, this game doesn't have a lot of 3D sections, although I don't use that as a slight against the game. I mean, sure, I'd prefer a 3D game, but this doesn't really bother me all that much. It's I'd prefer a fully 3D game, or at least more like Unleashed 50/50, but, I'm fine with the 2D game. I mean, the first Boost games ever were the Rush games, right? So, what's wrong with having 2.5D? I mean, if it's, used a lot, to the point where the game is, all 2D, or at least redundantly so, say, in Generations. Generations is one of the, exceptions to this rule, where I can use that as a criticism considering we have classic Sonic. There's really no reason for modern Sonic to have 2D sections. I mean, sure, in Generations, the 2D sections for modern Sonic are, for the most part, short, but when it comes to classic Sonic being there, and it's completely 2D, there's no real reason, again, for modern Sonic to be having 2D sections. Just keep it fully 3D and more, sort of emphasize the modern aspect, having everything in 3D. But, anyways, look at this set piece. I told you there were burgers. There are indeed burgers. A lot of burgers. Also, almost every time I go through those 3 rainbow rings, it's almost always in time with the music, or at least close to. I don't know why I decided to point that out, it's just always something I think of every time I play this level. Also, the Hover Wisp is back. That's one of the reasons why I decided to go after, or not go after, but do Starlight Carnival first instead of Sweet Mountain people usually do, because I get the Hover and Cube Wisps, which are used a lot in Sweet Mountain, actually. And, as far as I'm aware, from what I remember in this recording session and through my multiple playthroughs of this game, there aren't really any Wisps introduced in Sweet Mountain. I'm going to figure out if that's the case or not soon, but yeah, I don't think there are any Wisps introduced in Sweet Mountain. But that's one of the reasons, again, why I did Starlight Carnival first, because I get to use the Wisps. Drill Wisp is used a lot, but that's introduced in Tropical Coast, and, well, when it comes to, all the Wisps being used, I just think it'd be better to handle the levels where you unlock those Wisps first, so that way you can use them all again in later levels without having to, not be able to use them. Anyways, we have more Drill Wisp here burrowing through cake. This is cake, I'm assuming. It's probably cake. Loop-de-loops on these rails that spark, even though I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be licorice. I think. I mean, they kind of look like licorice or something of that sort, but yet they still spark. Maybe they have like a bit of mechanical stuff on them. I mean, maybe that's why they spark. Also, this burger looks to be completely mechanized, like it's completely mechanical. Which, I mean, sure. Like, thinking about it from Eggman's perspective, why would you want to build a giant hamburger when the entire planet is already made of food? You could probably just, like, have a hamburger, a giant hamburger there. I mean, there are giant donuts and lollipops and cookies and everything here. So, why wouldn't you just have a burger there instead of having to make one? I mean, I really doubt that everything here, all the food on this planet, is, you know, mechanized. I highly doubt that. I mean, if it is, this planet is Eggman's, really, because if everything on this planet is all mechanical, then, well, Eggman deserves to at least keep this planet, considering he put so much work into it. Anyway, here is the Rocket Wisp. You go up into the sky, and then you enter a 2D skydiving sequence. Right here, I grab another Rocket Wisp, so that when I land, almost immediately after, I can then go straight up again, and then skydive to skip a decent chunk of the level, and reach alternate pathways, and get red rings as I'm about to right here. Boom. Yeah, again, looking at this, I doubt everything here is mechanical. That donut looks pretty organic. Here we enter another drift sequence where, yeah, the drift is kind of weird. Like, sometimes it works as you would expect it to. Like, if you make a sharp turn, Sonic will turn very sharply. Sometimes you need to, like, sort of wiggle your way around like this. It's really weird. Sometimes, again, you make really tight corners. Sometimes you have to sort of wiggle the control stick around to make wide turns, but sometimes Sonic automatically makes wide turns, and then, like, you need to try to sort of force them to make it tighter. It's really strange. For those of you who played this game, you probably know what I'm talking about. I don't like the drifting colors. It's much better in Generations, and I think Unleashed has the best drift mechanic. I don't know. I just prefer the more realistic gameplay style and physics of Unleashed. My opinion.
Oh no!
Anyway, here in this level, we're introduced to these glowing stick light things. I don't know what you would call these. But yeah, I just skip through all these by getting hit and then just taking invincibility frames and just walking through them because it takes way too long to just press a switch and then just wait. I don't want to be waiting in a Sonic game really at all. I want to constantly be doing stuff, which is why I hate sections like this, because you're just waiting. It's thrilling action, Sonic Colors. I mean, when the time it came out, Sonic Colors was kind of insane. It was fantastic to have a game like this. Even though overall I prefer Unleashed, but that's just me. But for the majority of Sonic fans and critics and pretty much everyone, really, when it came to video games, said that Sonic Colors was the best Sonic game since games like Sonic Adventure 2, or Sonic Heroes if you want to count that, before that game got a bad rep. But as it's aged, it's definitely aged. Not badly. This game is still fun to play, and really it doesn't have too many glaring faults, but moments like this are not really what I would think of. It's not exactly what comes to mind when I think of Sonic the Hedgehog. Just pressing switches and waiting while avoiding very slow hazards, slowly, like, approaching hazards. This is more of something you'd see in a Mario game. And here, because I made that slip up, I'm about to make another slip up here where somehow I boost into the wall from the left and then bounce to the right while boosting. I don't know how that happened. Again, Sonic Colors' physics system can be weird at times. Anyways, I kind of forgot that this was a quick stepping sequence when I first entered it. don't know why. I try to skip over this, but I fail, sadly. I can't always be awesome. Not that I was really awesome to begin with. But anyway, we are here. Popcorn, jelly beans, and there's another example of jumping on an enemy causing you to go super high into the air. Again, I don't get Sonic Colors physics. Speaking of physics and engines and stuff like that, I remember hearing once, I believe it was in a Brain Scratch commentaries or Find a Computer Room, where they said that this game is apparently made on a Sonic Adventure 1 engine, and they weren't able to confirm that, and I haven't looked it up for myself. I still really don't know. I mean, I doubt this is on a Sonic Adventure 1 engine, however, this doesn't look like it's Hedgehog engine. Like, it plays like Unleashed, but the engine that it's running on certainly doesn't look like the Hedgehog engine. It might be a very, very watered-down version of the Hedgehog engine, but, I mean, Generations was what we get when we have a watered-down Hedgehog engine. This seems like something else entirely, but it doesn't look like a Sonic Adventure 1 engine. But it's not like Sega to just create an entirely new engine just for one game. I don't know, like, if anyone knows what engine Sonic Colors is running off of, let me know in the comments. Because I do read everyone's comments. I read comments, yes I do. So we've reached Act 6. I still love that opening animation of Sonic running towards the, well, starting the level off, basically. Reminds me of Unleashed. I like Unleashed. It's not my favorite Sonic game, but it's alright. It's good. I really like it. Like, I say it's alright, when really it's one of my favorites. What I mean by that is, the Werehog, yeah, it's alright.
Oh no!
I mean, I could do without it. But for me, the daytime stages are so good that it kind of outweighs the Werehog overall. Like, I mean, sure, you're required to use a Werehog, but let's be honest, the Werehog isn't really that bad. I mean, sure, for a Sonic game, it's not exactly what anyone would expect to play in a Sonic game. But, you know, when I'm playing a Mario game, for instance,
oh no!
I don't expect to be rolling around in a ball. And,
oh no!
Well, you know, using motion controls to tilt myself over, like, all over the place on an obstacle course, but you don't see me complaining about that. I mean, sure, the Werehog is, like, half the game, if not more, but it's still not bad. I'd take the Werehog over the rolling galaxies in Mario Galaxy pretty much any day, and especially Mantine surfing. It's one of the reasons why I think Galaxy is overrated. I haven't played Galaxy 2. For all I know, it's the greatest game of all time, but it doesn't seem that different from Galaxy. So, my opinion on that right now isn't really the highest. I mean, Galaxy is still a fine game. It's still good, but for me, it's not as good as pretty much everyone else says it is. I think Galaxy is one of the more overrated Mario games and games in general.
This park is huge.
Yeah. Eggman could be anywhere.
Indeed I could, but I'm right here behind this generator. That's it, Hedgehog. Stand there and be a nice little target.
Tails, is that you humming?
Sonic, look out!
Experience has taught me to investigate anything that glows. Tails! Tails, buddy?
He's my buddy now.
What have you done to him?
Me? I did nothing at all. Unless shooting him with my mind control beam that runs on alien energy counts is doing something to him. Does it? To get to me, you're going to have to go through your best friend. This turned out much better than I could have hoped, and I only used a small prototype.
Enjoy it while you can.
Oh, I will. In fact, the only way to make this better would be to have you two fight.
Come on, Tails. Snap out of it, dude! You don't want to do this! What the? Tails, buddy! Are you alright?
Where am I? Why is my nose hair tingling?
Lousy, cheap alien energy. Huh? Ran out of juice. Well, I'll get more. Lots more. And then I won't just control one little punk, but the whole universe. In the meantime, enjoy the park. I'll leave you your own private tour guide.
Haha, pay up, Tails. I told you he had an evil plot, and coming here was a good idea. There it is, straight from the horse's mouth.
We didn't bet.
You know, we could have had a Tails boss fight. It almost seemed like that was a perfect setup for a Tails boss fight. I mean, the music even ended with the whole dramatic tension moment where it just ends right before you can almost see it fade to black as Tails rises his fist. You know, but no, cop out. Tails is saved. You know, it doesn't really matter that much to me now, but it kind of bothers me now, considering that in later games like Lost World, we have Tails. Oh, he's a robot now. That seems like a big deal. Oh, are we gonna have a Tails boss fight in Lost World? But no, he's fine. You know, also I never got that cutscene. You know, Eggman's like, oh, I ran out of energy, so I'll get more aliens to get more energy. Well, even if you were to get every single, like, wisp in the universe to take over the Earth, and you already had that many wisps already, and you had that little energy, like, that small amount of energy that ran out so quickly, even if you were to get every single wisp in the universe, you'd still have a very limited supply. I mean, sure, it will last a long time, but it's still ultimately limited. So this plan kind of fails in a lot of ways. Really, that one reason is enough to make the whole plan fall apart, but I'm not about to analyze the strengths and weaknesses of a Sonic Colors plot, of the Sonic Colors plot. Anyway, that was a boss. Pretty easy. That's it.
Hey, Sonic, did you give the guide your complaint?
Oh, I gave it to him pretty good. Sup, Yacker? So did you get any more info out of him?
Well, it wasn't easy, but yeah.
Well, we know Eggman is going to use the energy he's stealing for a mind control weapon.
Learned that one the hard way.
Do we know how Eggman is getting all these aliens?
Yeah. At first, I thought that Yacker was talking about how Baldy Nosehair was using burps to do it.
He is pretty gassy. Maybe the smell would knock him out? I don't know, something doesn't seem right with that.
That's what I said. It made no sense. Then I made a tiny adjustment and realized he was saying generators.
So, no burps. Well, that's a relief.
Tell me about it. So basically, Eggman is using 5 tractor beam generators to hold their planet in orbit while he scoops the aliens all up.
Hold a whole planet?
Well, it's tiny, but still, yeah.
Okay, fine. 5 generators? Well, I've already leveled 2.
So, if my math is correct, that leaves us 3 more of those bad boys to take out.
Nobody said there'd be math, but I'm with you, buddy.
We should get moving. Yacker says the aliens don't have much time.
Once I start moving, I don't need much time.
Soon the mind control weapon will be full of energy I've siphoned from the aliens, and Sonic's world will be the center of my interplanetary theme park.
Y'all reckon you'll be able to get yourself enough of that energy to take over the whole dang planet?
Yes, I reckon I will. Where is your new voice chip?
Got it right here, sir. Just need to install it. The thick bone's connected to the top bone. The top bone's connected to the mouth bone. There, good as new.
Finally, I don't think anything could have been more annoying than that cowboy chatter.
Feeling ship-shape with me new voice chip I am. Begging your pardon, Squire, but me and my matey are gonna sail off and search for that lubber Sonic. Arr!
I think that's the wrong chip.
Really? Are you sure he doesn't normally speak in pirate?
On the bright side, he's much more exotic now.
Just go find him and fix that chip! Shortly, I will have no need for those idiots. In just a few hours, Sonic's world will be under my control. When it is, it will be the crown jewel of my amusement park. The greatest amusement park in the universe!
And that was Sweet Mountain, everybody. And again, I'm back from the dead. I will be uploading videos regularly again. And yeah, I'm back to a regular schedule, finally. I mean, granted, I never really followed that schedule to begin with, thanks to the sporadic uploads, but I think I'm finally able to get into a groove here, upload videos on a regular basis. So, with that said, I have been the Cryogenic Gamer, and I will see you all in part 4. See you then.